With Biden and the radical left, it's always America last, and that's what they do. You look at these horrible deals they make throughout the world, it's always America last. Everyone in Washington is obsessing over how to protect Ukraine's border, but the most important border in the world right now for us is not Ukraine's border, it's America's border, and we do nothing about it but let people come in and we have no idea who they are. The first duty of the American president is to defend the American border. Before our leaders talk about invasions of other countries, they need to stop the invasion of this country. It's being invaded. It's being invaded by people that should not be allowed to do. You know, we had the safest border, the strongest border that we've ever had just 1 year ago. And before Joe Biden sent any troops to defend a border in Eastern Europe, he should be sending troops to defend our border right here in Texas. When I left office, we handed so many incredible things to the new administration, but one of the best was that great secure border. And it wasn't even close. There's never been a border like that. You saw it. People tell me, they said it was like we were living in a different world. It was so nice. They had never seen it. We had stopped not only the people coming in that we didn't want in most cases, or certainly in many cases, but the drugs now are surging. We had it down to the lowest level in decades. Yet under Biden, over 5 million people trespassed illegally across our border last year alone. Think of it, 5 million people, and we have no idea who the hell they are or where they came from. But you'll be paying a price for years to come. This was not a minor incursion. This was the single largest mass border incursion probably in the history of the world. There's never been a country that would allow this to happen. You can go to third world countries or fourth world countries. They wouldn't allow this to happen. Normally, a nation has to lose a war to a foreign power in order to lose its border. And yet our border has been surrendered. And look, we have surrendered our border. It's been surrendered by our own president and the Democrats, just like Biden surrendered to Afghanistan. And now the entire planet is intruding across it as though America had been defeated on the field of battle. There's no other excuse for it. And even during the debates, nobody said that this was going to happen. Nobody said we were going to have totally open borders. And if they said it, we wouldn't have believed them. Nobody would have believed that. Biden's complete abdication of duty is getting untold numbers of innocent Americans killed. On Biden's watch last year, Border Patrol saw a 350% increase in criminal aliens breaking across our border, including 1,900% more murders. 1,900%. In the sanctuary state of New York, 3 savage illegal alien MS-13 gang member killers were charged last year with beating a 31-year-old mother with a baseball bat, hacking her to pieces with a machete and stuffing her body into the trunk of a car. 3 months ago, an illegal alien with a prior criminal record violently carjacked a woman at a gas station in suburban Kentucky, shot her 16-year-old son who was in the car, and went on a 2-week-long crime spree of brutal carjackings and armed robbery, hurting many people right now in hospitals all over that great state. In Beverly Hills, California, the crime is so bad that rich people leave their car trunks open so the vandals and thieves won't destroy their cars when robbing them. Think of that. That's Beverly Hills. A lot of money in Beverly Hills, right? They're not so happy. You know, people have asked me, and they said, would you do it? And I said, I'll do it. I have to find it, but I'm going to do it. But it's nice to have a memory where you don't really have to read it. But let's read it anyway. Let's read it anyway. They wanted to hear the snake. I haven't done that in a long time. Does anybody know what that is? And this, as you know, has to do with immigration. Do you want me to do it? So this has to do really with immigration. And it's a very serious problem for our country. We have many serious problems. We're in the losing end of every single problem. The snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been fully revived. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I didn't bring you in by now, you truly would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you, ma'am," the snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." And that's what's happening to the United States of America with immigration. I think it's pretty accurate. Do you agree? I think it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Thank you. When Republicans retake Congress, one of the first things they should do is pass a bill massively increasing the number of ICE officers to ensure that every single illegal alien Joe Biden let into our country illegally is safely and quickly sent back home. Have to do it. We're not going to have a country. Every day, Biden's incompetence is putting America at risk. As everyone knows, what Putin and Russia are doing with Ukraine would never, ever, not even possible, have happened if I was president. Never did. Never did. They would not have dreamed of it, and they would not have dared to do it. And I had a good relationship, but remember, I'm the one that broke up his pipeline deal. He wasn't happy about that. He said, "You're killing me with the pipeline." Nobody else brought up pipeline. Nobody ever heard about Nord Stream 2. In the words of the great historian, and he is indeed a great historian and philosopher, Victor David Hanson. You know, Victor Davis Hanson, to me, is one of the great people around. Victor Davis Hanson. He said the only time that Putin didn't move, and he's talking about over many years, was in this 4-year period when Trump did things like take out Soleimani, kill al-Baghdadi, completely destroy ISIS, and be smart with North Korea. And he said, at Russia during this 4-year period, Russia didn't move. We had a good relationship, but he understood. We both understood. He didn't move. There was nothing like having 250,000 soldiers on the border of a country. On my watch, America was respected again, maybe respected like never before. And I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get the United States into any new wars. I took us out of endless and ridiculous wars. Remember when I was running, they were all screaming, he'll start a war. He's that kind of a guy. No, I'm the one that got them not to fight because they didn't want to mess with us. Totally rebuilt the military. Nobody wanted to mess. Of course, we gave 85 billion of it to the Taliban. It's not even believable. We truly had peace through strength, as Ronald Reagan would say. We demanded that our NATO allies pay their fair share. And I made clear that if Europe cared about its borders, they would have to pay. They would have to pay because we were paying for NATO. And by the way, they screwed us on trade all the time, you know? They were almost as bad as China, but nobody says it because it's Europe. How nice. It's such a great place. A lot of us came from Europe at one point, whether it's us, our parents, our grandparents, but they were very good at taking advantage of the United States. Americans were not going to be played for suckers anymore under the Trump administration. It was very clear, and they understood that. A big part of the reason we are now witnessing this dangerous situation in Ukraine is that as soon as Biden came in, other countries got the message that it was back to the old days of taking advantage of the United States, that they didn't have to pay their bills, do their jobs, or risk their lives. Let the dumb Americans do it for us. The incompetence of our leaders can be scarcely believed. It's a disaster and a disgrace what's happened to our country in the last 10 months. A disaster, a disgrace. Nobody can believe it.